Starting you off at rookie and working you up. After a while, though, this had kind of a diminishing returns effect. I found that it would cycle me up all the way to legend and then cycle me down to rookie. Now, as I was moving up through the veteran, all-star, legend, and stuff, I was still hitting the ball well, and then all of a sudden I'd find myself cycled back to rookie, and I couldn't hit a damn thing. So after, going around and around for a while and doing better with it, I just went to the all-star level, and I'm happy with that. Hitting interface is zone. You can set it for directional, pure analog, which I do not recommend for the new guys, unless you have some experience. So I stick with the zone. Now with directional, when you press the left stick, it will set the direction you're looking to hit the ball. I prefer the zone, which is where I will set my spot to where I think the pitcher is going to leave the ball, and try to swing early or late to actually, make some kind of a effect on where the ball is going to go, either to right field or left field. Maybe I'll, from a left-handed batter, if I try to get ahead of it, I'll hit it to right field. If I'm looking to slap it to left field, I will try to go a little late on it, but anyway, that's what that's about. Input, again, buttons, not analog. If you're doing well with this and you feel you can go to using the stick to hit, more power to you. I think beginners should stick with the buttons until they learn a whole lot of other stuff. In buttons, this setting is it has no effect. You should leave the plate coverage indicator on. My preference on the PCI, the plate coverage indicator is outline. There are other things you can use. Reticle is okay, but I prefer the outline. This locks the camera shift to on. Here's another important setting here. After about 2 months, I finally just settled on this offset view. There are other different things you can do. Unfortunately, well, in Road to the Show, there's a few custom things you can do, and you can actually move the camera to where you're really happy with it. But if you go online, it locks these customs out. So after a lot of messing around, I've settled on offset zoom. Your in-play view of the offense, you get a better idea of what's going on after you hit the ball, if there's runners on base and moving, and you got to make decisions about how to, keep them moving or hold them up. I found high to be best. Ball trail. I'm not sure why this is locked out here. Generally, I'll leave it on if I have a choice. Day games, you get the, the ball trail. It's kind of cool. Guest pitch, I have off. If you want to use this feature, be my guest. I will say that after you've been playing for a while and you've mastered the buttons and, just how to play the game, and you want it to, then you have the opportunity to start thinking like baseball. I just leave this off. I go for situational. Like say, for example, there's nobody out. The guy ahead of you hit a single. He's on first base. The opposing team is going to want to get a double play, and the pitcher is generally going to throw you, low in the zone, low strikes, if even in the strike zone, and trying to get you to hit a ground ball so they can hit a double play. So if that's the situation, I'm generally looking low. If I come up and there's, they got a big lead and there's nobody on base, they might throw me some high stuff because they're not worried about a home run, but that's a good time to get home runs. Base running decisions I have set to assist. And if you're online playing Diamond Dynasty or something, that's the default thing there. So I just play it that way all the time. And that's it for that. Again, I'm happy with All-Star at this point because I have some experience. If you R2 once, takes you to this next screen. Your base running interface, I have set it default. Sliding decisions, I have to assist, which means the game AI will make you slide in some way that it thinks is best, unless you actually do something on your own, which is accomplished with the right stick. So that's something you can check out for yourself. The runner window is on from both hitting and pitching, which gives you a small box window, which shows you what, say, the runner on first or third or whatever, might be doing, taking a little extra lead or something like that, which in Diamond Dynasty you can control leads, leadoffs, and steals. In Road to the Show, the game pretty much handles that for you. So anyway, going here we are back to this. So now we're going to R1 over to pitching. And again, I'm doing well enough to be in the All-Star, but you can set it for dynamic and yeah, let the difficulty go up as you improve. But again, I'm doing well enough to be All-Star. Pitching interface, I found I like classic better. Again, I'm not using the analog stick to do the pitches. I found some happiness with that. You won't be doing any pitching in Road to the Show unless you make yourself a pitcher. I'm a second baseman, so that's nothing I got to consider there. The pulse meter, again, because you're using the classic pitching interface, the pulse meter really has nothing much to do with it. Pitching view, I like it pitcher zoom. I found some, it was tough to go from like a right-hander to a left-hander because the angles of like the outfield camera are skewed that way. And there's some customs again, which will not be part of anything in Diamond Dynasty online play. So I have decided that pitcher center is right for me. Kind of puts you right behind the pitcher, whether it's right-handed or left-handed. It's easier just to see what's going on. The pitching ball marker, I have set it classic on. It doesn't show you any kind of arc for your different pitches. It does show your result near the strike zone and basically gives you just an aiming point in or out of the strike zone. Pitch confidence I have set to on. It kind of helps you if your energy level, which is a whole other thing, comes into play, or how well you're doing, say with your fastball, your pitching confidence would show higher. If they're hitting you really heavy, your pitch confidence might go lower, and you might want to go to your secondary pitch. Anyway, I leave it on. It's not a big thing. I'm happy with it this way. We'll R2 once. Again, Road to the Show, pitch delay is set at normal instead of faster or quick, because you have a little time to consider things. You have a little time to press the trigger to see what kind of pitches he's got and what he's likely to throw at you. This is the adaptive pitching intelligence. I just leave it off, and it's on default. The API is not. This is where the catcher will, you can press the trigger and the catcher will tell you what kind of pitch to throw and where. I prefer to make my own decisions. Again, situational. If I need a double play, I'll be pitching, low in the strike zone. And at other times, I might just want to throw, a high fastball, just to try to blow it by the guy. So anyway, that's my settings. Now we're going to move on to fielding. Throwing interface, again, I have set the buttons, not using the stick. I would need to be way more experienced in this game and master just about everything before I would even attempt to be using the stick. The Road to the Show throwing interface also is stick buttons, excuse me. The throwing meter is off. If you're not using the analog stick to make throws, you don't need the meter cluttering up your screen. The way it is now, my throwing difficulty, it defaults and is locked at veteran. That would only come into play if you're probably using the stick. Fielding decisions I have set to assist, even though you must make your own decisions. Like say I'm playing second base, there's a guy on first, I'm looking to make a double play. So first I have to field the ball, I have to press the triangle button to throw to the second baseman, and the shortstop covering second. And as soon as I do that, then I have to hit the circle button, so he will make the next throw to first base to complete the double play. My in-play view of defense is at the medium camera. I found it just makes things easier to see on defense. There's a couple different settings there. I recommend this one. Throw canceling, if you were going to throw something and quickly decided you didn't want to do it, I leave that off. You'd have to hit the same button too quickly to do that, and I'm not comfortable with that yet. One button dive jump I leave on, so if you're in a situation where you either want to jump to catch a line drive or dive to catch something going straight up the box, you might that might come in handy. Again, this is what I recommend. Now we'll R2 one more time. The catch position indicator I have on. It shows you where the marker is, where you need to get your fielder to catch fly balls. Defensive shift is set to manual. Again, this is more to do with Diamond Dynasty, where you might shift left if you have a right-handed power hitter that might, hit it deep to left field. I prefer to do it myself. You're always offered many choices, both infield and outfield, as to how to set that. I prefer to do it myself. Sometimes I might go against intuition. I might bring the outfielders in shallow to say, if it's a line drive on the ground, it's easier to make a throw home if somebody's trying to get in from third. So that's how I set that. And when we go back to the general, where I have the strike zone off, you can leave it on. I prefer it off because the hot zone of the hitter, I have it preview. So at the start of the hitter's at bat, you get to see, his red zones are where he's good hitting, his blue zones are where he's not so good. So, but just a quick look at that at the start of the at bat pretty much tells me all I need to know. I don't need it on all the time, and I don't need the strike zone on all the time. There, I got a kind of a preview of it at the start of the at bat. And, I can go by the catcher's position. I use, from his head down to his crotch and, from his left knee to his right knee. And I'm able to spot my pitches that way. Warm-up relievers, Road to the Show, and even Diamond Dynasty. You can set that to on, and then when the reliever comes out there, you're going to throw 8 pitches to warm them up. So I just think it's a waste of time and not necessary. So I just leave that off. The dynamic difficulty updates are really, if you set your difficulty to dynamic, it will tell you if you made improvement or if you've fallen off somewhere. So again, unless you're in dynamic difficulty, this really doesn't much mean anything, but I leave it set for progress anyway. I've gotten to the point where I really don't need these tutorial tips anymore. But for the beginners, leave them on if you want. Post-game autosave is important. Like when you're doing Road to the Show, at the end of the game will do a save, so you don't manually have to do it, and that's the way I do that. And then we go back to the hitting. So we've gone through the whole basic settings I'm using. I hope it helps you guys, and want everybody to catch up, get a Diamond Dynasty team together so we can have some online games. So that's it for now, folks.